be the facilitator for today's video conference. Now, I want to ask a question first of the teachers, so excuse me for doing that first of all, but Victoria and Iyad and Yusuf and Zain and all the other teachers, could you let me know if you're going to need to translate at all for your students during the video conference?
No, my students don't need any translation. Thank you.
Thank you.
My students might need some translation, but I have a board nearby to write up any words that they're not sure of. Okay?
Okay, great. If you need us to pause at any point so that you have time to translate, please do not be shy to do that. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I need some time to translate some words. Thus, I didn't understand a lot of things, but I will translate some words for them. Thank you.
Thank you, Yusuf.
For us now. Hi, this is Zain. I don't think we need translation, no. Thank you.
Thank you, Zain. Okay, so today's video conference is all about you young people having a dialogue, a discussion with one another so that you can understand what compassion means to you in your individual context, in your local context, your experiences you have of compassion, and also what your influences are towards compassionate action, whether those are drawn from your family, your education, your faith tradition, or whatever. Okay? Now you're going to have a dialogue today, a dialogue hopefully rather than a chat with one another. So there's a few key things that I need you to do in order to take that learning to that deeper level. First of all, it's really important that you speak from your own personal perspective. And this is actually more difficult than it sounds. Sometimes it's very easy to say, we do this or we do that. And quite often the person who's listening to you is unsure who we is. You know, are you talking about all Jordanians? Are you talking about all Muslims? And there's actually a real danger in doing that. You're all unique individuals who come to this video conference with different experiences and quite possibly different beliefs that underpin this value of compassion. So please speak from your own experience and only speak on behalf of yourself. If you forget to do this, I'm hoping that your classmates will, in a compassionate way, remind you gently of this important protocol. Secondly, dialogue is as much about listening as it is about speaking. Now, it's going to be very important that you speak in today's video conference. A video conference with nobody speaking would be a disaster. So speaking is important, and when you do speak, it's important to give good explanations and good reasons behind what you're saying. But at the same time, you must listen carefully to one another and demonstrate that you have been actively listening by asking questions and making comments that will deepen your understanding of compassion. Now I'm going to pause in today's video conference from time to time to allow you to ask questions based on what you've heard. Okay? Quite often, and adults are as guilty of this as young people, quite often people are just waiting to ask the next question they've got lined up in their question queue in their head. What's actually important is that you put those questions to one side and instead try to make comments and ask questions based on what you've heard. It's a difficult skill. Okay, so we're going to look at compassion in today's video conference. We're going to start off by trying to define what compassion is, and then we're going to hear your own personal experiences of compassionate action, both giving compassionate action and receiving compassionate actions from others. And then we're going to have a look at what underpins this value of compassion. And at that point, we've got a great presentation from the students in Ukraine and a fabulous film from the IEC students in Jordan that we're going to share over the video conference. Okay, if you've understood what I've said so far, these important protocols and the run through of the video conference, could you just give me a wave? Oh, that's amazing. That's awesome. Okay, so we're going to start off. First question from me, but hopefully a lot of questions will come from you. The first question to all of you is, what does the word compassion mean? What is your personal understanding of this word? What does the word compassion mean? Could we start, please, with the students at IEC in answering this question? Thank you. And if we could hear from at least 3 of you, that would be marvellous.
Hi, my name is Marah. Compassion is the human quality of understanding the suffering of others and wanting to do something for it. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nisreen, and compassion is the feeling of empathy for others, and compassion is the emotion that we feel in response to suffering of others that motivates a desire to help. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Yasmin, and compassion means to feel sorry about people, or maybe not just by feeling, but by actions too. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Juqayya. To me, compassion is doing something that benefits not only yourself but others. Doing something that's not only for your own good. Simple things that we do every day. Thank you.
That was a great start. Thank you very much. That was a great start. Thank you so much. You've just reminded me that I forgot to mention in the protocols that you should start with your name. So I thank you for doing that. And when you've finished, end with thank you so that we know we're ready to move on. So thanks for the reminder there. What I also loved about your presentation there was that we heard from a number of different voices. So that also was excellent. High level of participation. Okay, we're going to go over to our friends in Ukraine now. Could you have a go at answering the same question? Thank you.
Hello, my name is Anya, and I want to tell you what compassion means to me. I think that people should be helpful and kind to animals. I also think that people who are helpless, they only sit at the churches and beg money. My mother always also donates money for them. She says that they are only poor, old and helpless, so we should support and help them. I also feed stray dogs and cats. I think when I was in Poland, I saw some special shelters for animals, and I think that is right, because all of animals need our love and protection. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I just want to remind you, though, that at the moment we're discussing what the word compassion means rather than our experience of it. Okay. Go ahead, young man. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Anton, and I want to tell you about what is compassion for me. I think that nowadays the world is full of violence and cruelty. I don't understand people who can kill or who care only about themselves. I think that we all are the members of a big community called our planet. My mother always teaches me to give a helping hand to people who may be in a trouble. And I agree with the words from the Bible that compassion can heal the person. Thank you.
Well done, Anton. That was beautiful. Thank you. Anybody else from Koval School? Thank you.
Hello, my name is Veronica and I'd like to tell you about compassion. I think that compassion is a feeling of love to others, people, animals, nature. I think that it is cruel to stay indifferent to problems of other people. There are a lot of people in the world who are poor and sick and who need our help. I join charity activities to raise money. I know that by doing this I make their life easier and happier.
Hello, my name is Roma, and I think compassion is when you help other people and take him and help. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Diana and I would like to tell you about companions. Nowadays there are a lot of homeless and stray animals who need our help, especially in cold season, when it is hard to find food. I love animals and I am also ready to take care of them. They are living beings who cannot speak but have the same feelings as people. We all know that dogs, for example, are very loyal and friendly. I have had a story about the dog which after the death of their owner came to the cemetery and spent several time there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And again, a great high level of participation and good explanations. And I must say you're doing very, very well to speak in English, because I know that for all of you, English is your second language. You're doing the most amazing job. Can we go back over to Jordan now and hear from our friends at Thu Narain School? The same question to you. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Qais. I want to speak about compassion to others. We are human beings, so to feel happy inside us. The soul happiness and feel relaxing when we doing good things to others and feel compassion, so the real happiness.
I think,
my name
sorry
my
to
name is
interrupt.
Muhammad.
Sorry to interrupt you 1 second, and salam to you as well. Just that we are experiencing a little issue with your bandwidth. That means we didn't hear the last speaker very well. Before you begin, could that young boy come back and repeat what he said, please? Because we don't want to miss anything if we can avoid it. Thank you for coming back. Could you repeat what you said, but could you say it a little slower, please? Thank you.
Hello, my name is Qais. I want to speak about compassion to others. We are human beings, so to feel happy inside us. The soul happiness and feel relaxing when we doing good things to others. And feel compassion, so the real happiness inside us. Thank you.
That was excellent. We heard you loud and clear that time. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt you earlier. Do go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is show your interest in the other person's suffering. Listen to them without interrupting. Use the language that show interest and that you agree with them, such as nodding your head at appropriate time. If you know the person well enough, a warm hug goes a long way to comforting distressed. Think of something special to do for him or her, whether it's cooking a meal, sending a little gift, or anything else that could brighten their day and let them know that someone truly cares. And thank you.
Okay, just so that you know, we are at times struggling to hear you from through Narain's school. Because you're on low bandwidth, it means that your audio is quite distorted. We caught some of what the last young man said, but not everything. I'm wondering if you turn your video off, I'm wondering whether that will mean we can hear you a little clearer. Can you try turning your video off? We won't be able to see you, but hopefully we'll hear you better. Thank you. Yusuf, can you try turning off your video? Shall we see if we can hear one more student from Thu Narain? No. Okay, we'll go over to IC Basiglio School, and can we hear from a few students there? What does the word compassion mean to you?
Hello, my name is Nicola, and I'm from Basilio, and for me, compassion means when you feel empathy for another person. My family always teach me to be generous with other person, and in fact I do something for my compassion for other people. I do the catechism course, and sometimes we go to the central station and give something to the poor person, like food or dresses. Thank you. Bye.
Hi, I'm Greta. Thanks. I think that compassion is as we are brothers and sisters in all over the world, and so we care about all the others, is to feel them. Thanks.
I think that compassion is very important in the world because it helps the poor people to change. this quality life. But also with compassion, the world can change. Thank you.
Hello, your name?
Thank you. I am Emanuele. Hello. Bye.
Hi, my name is Yordanії, and for me the meaning of compassion is considering and understanding what other people are doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, we seem to have lost Fu Narain at the moment. I'm hoping that they will reconnect. I'm going to go and ask the next question and perhaps give you a little guidance when you're answering it. But after that, I'm hoping you've got questions for one another. So do listen very carefully. If you feel you cannot adequately express yourself in English, feel free to speak in Arabic, Russian, Ukrainian, Italian, whatever your first language is, and I'm sure your teacher will translate. Because what you say is really important for us understanding one another, and I don't want you to be limited by speaking in English. Okay, so the next question is, what experience do you have of compassionate action? Many of you in your response just then spoke about compassion being an emotion, a feeling, but also being an activity. What have you experienced in terms of compassionate action, either doing it for others or receiving it yourselves? Can we start again with IEC, and then we'll go to Ukraine, and then we'll go to Italy, and hopefully Thu Narain will join us as well. So IEC, thank you.
Hi, my name is Marah. Actually, I felt compassionate when our school launched a campaign to help cancer patients and give them presents and make them happy. And we all donated amounts of money to help them. Thank you. Hello, my name is Hello, my name is Yasmin, and I'd like to say that compassion isn't just being compassionate between you and your friend. It's actually being compassionate with you and maybe animals, maybe like not only humans. So I once found a cat that was fighting with another cat for a piece of bread or food they were eating. And so I got each one of them a piece of meat that was left out from our food, and they ate it. And I think that's compassion. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Hajar. Once when I was walking, I saw a bird lying on the ground. He was hurt, I don't know how, but he had a broken wing. So I took him to a vet doctor, and then I left him there because leaving a bird at home and wouldn't be it would be dangerous. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nasreen, and I want to say that all mothers are compassionate to their children, and the way they stay up all night to like when their children are sick and stuff like that. Thank you.
Thanks, Nisreen. I just want to bring your attention to making huge, great big statements like all mothers are compassionate. We would love it. I think if all mothers the world over were compassionate, but in reality, there's probably some mothers out there who are not as compassionate as perhaps they should be. So just a reminder that another thing we need to try to do on this video conference is avoid making generalizations. Okay, thank you. Great, thank you very much. Let's go over to Ukraine now. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Christy and I would like to tell you about example of sympathetic. When my friend has some problems, I tell her that I understood her, and then I give she some advices, and together we try to solve her problem. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Roma and I would like to tell you about examples of compassion. I'm always active in different events which are organized in our gymnasia to help other people. Thank you.
Hello, I would like to tell you an examples compassions. When I was in Poland, I saw the special house for dogs. I saw that people help them and care of them. Thank you.
Anybody else from Koval Gymnasium? Remember, you're thinking about when you have shown compassion to others or when people have been compassionate towards you. Anybody else? No, that's fine. Let's go over to Boonarain. Now, welcome back. I hope that we can hear you clearly. The question is, can you give us some examples of when you've been compassionate towards others or when you have experienced compassionate action yourself? Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad. Show a genuine interest in the other person's suffering. Listen to their problem without interrupting. Use body language that shows interest and that you agree with them, such as nodding your head at an appropriate time. If you know the person well enough, a warm hug goes a long way to comforting a distressed friend. Think of brighten their day and let them know that someone truly cares. And thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Nat. I talk about compassion. My religion is compassion. Compassion, mercy, and it's wrote about in Holy Quran. Among us, one is Ar-Rahman and Rahim. Passionate and people. A Muslim can he began in the name of Allah.
I'm so sorry, but we cannot hear you clearly at all. Can you, what we're going to do actually, we're going to mute your video, okay, because I don't think you know how to do it yourself. So we're going to mute your video. It means we won't be able to see you, but in the past, this has helped us to hear people better. Sanjay, please do go ahead and mute the video. Right. Could you try speaking again from the very beginning? Rain School, thank you. Everybody else, you're being wonderfully patient. You're actually being compassionate yourselves by waiting so patiently for others to connect. Rain, could you try speaking again, please? No. Okay, we'll go over to Italy then. Same question to you about your experiences of compassion. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Laura. Hello, I'm Laura, and when I feel compassion, I was on underground, and I saw a man who was on the floor, and I called the ambulance, and I tried to send up him. I asked him if he's okay or not, but he didn't answer me. I think if I didn't tell him, maybe he will be.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but we can't hear you very clearly either. No, I think the microphone's on your camera, and if you're talking down, it's very muffled. I'm going to need you to talk to the camera. So could you start again from the beginning, looking at the camera whilst you are speaking? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Laura, and when I feel compassion, I was in underground, and I saved a man who was on the floor, and I called ambulance, and I tried to send up him. I asked if he's okay or not, but he didn't respond me, and I think if I didn't help him, maybe he will hear and die, and the people maybe said it, but they still work like it is a ghost. Bye. Thank you.
Now I'm just going to repeat that for everybody else in case they didn't hear. Laura there talked about how she saw a man on the floor. He was obviously very ill, and she called an ambulance, and that's her example of compassionate action. Okay, thank you.
Hello, I'm Lorenzo. I'm from Basilio, and I want to talk about my experience. A few years ago, I was in London, and I saw a poor man on the road. I asked my mom some money, and gave it to the poor man, and I felt okay with myself. Thank you. Bye.
Hi, I'm Carla. I'm from Basilio, and I want to tell about my experience. One day when I walked in Milan, I saw a poor man who bathed with his dog. He had a blanket because it's winter, and the dog trembled, and the man gives the blanket to it. I felt very compassion for that man who didn't have nothing, only that blanket, and he did it. Thank you. Hi, I'm Dylan again, and I felt compassion when the typhoon Haiyan came in the Philippines, which is my country. They thought that on the 10th of November, 10,000 of people died for this accident. This typhoon destroyed so many cities, most of all Tacloban. My country is very lucky because all the people of this world help us and pray for us. Thank you.
Hello, I am Federico, and I feel compassion very rarely, but when I see on TV children with malformation, I'd like to give them some money. I think also at the doctor who live there for help these children with malformation, and I'd like also to help these children and this doctor. Hello, thank you. Bye bye.
Right, okay. What you've done so far isn't really dialogue. What you've done so far is just share with one another your experiences and your thoughts. We're going to have a real go at dialogue now. So I'm going to hand over to you young people for you to ask questions and make comments based on what you've heard already. Now, I can see most sites, I just can't see Thu Narain. So if you've got a question or a comment at Thu Narain, just go ahead, open up your microphone and speak. But for the rest of you, could I ask if you can raise your hand if you've got a question or a comment? Both are very important for dialogue based on what you've heard from one another so far. So raise your hand if you want to speak. Thank you. Okay, I think we've got a question or comment from IEC. Is that right? I saw somebody's hand go up. Wonderful. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Bayan. I would like to tell all the schools that we like their stories and that was really compassionate and nice of them. Thank you.
Go ahead, Thu Narain. Let's see if we can hear you.
Hello, my name is Yasmin. خلاص أروح? Can you hear us? Hello, my name is Yasmin.
Can we just see one moment if we can hear Thu Narain? Thank you for your patience. Just one moment. Go ahead, Thu Narain.
Hello, my name is Basil Momani. I want to ask Italy and Ukraine schools. Do you have refugees at country you feel compassion with them? Or foreign people you help them like us?
Yeah. Could you repeat that question again a little slower, please?
Hello, my name is Basil Momani. I want to ask Italy and Ukraine schools. Do you have refugees at your country to help them like us? Thank you.
I'm sorry, we really are struggling to hear you at all. I think we're going to have to call it a day for you being in the video conference, and we'll have to retest you so that you can join future video conferences. So we'll go over to IEC for their question instead. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Yasmin, and I would like to say that this video conference will be a very great experience. And but yeah, I have a question to that guy who said, what's that? I don't know what's the name of the school. He said something and I didn't really hear it. The last guy he said, Italy, from the school in Italy. Thank you.
I not understand what you want to know.
Simply, can you repeat what you said? Because you don't have an external microphone at your school, which is something you're going to have to get for future video conferences, your audio is very muffled. So could you repeat what you said, speaking very slowly and very clearly to the camera? Thank you. It annoys me when, you know, we always teach them with external microphones and then the microphones go missing. And then we
Hello.
Yeah.
I feel compassion very rarely, but when I see children with malformation on TV, I'd like to give them some money. I think also at the doctor who live there to help these children with a physical problem, and I would like to help doctor and children. And do you understand?
That was much clearer. Did you understand that at IEC, or would you like me to repeat it? Perfect. Oh, right. So, yes, he said.
Yes,
He said he sees young people on TV with things like lung problems and other diseases, and it upsets him, and he gives money so that the doctors can help those young people, and he'd like in future to be able to continue helping doctors who help children with diseases. Okay. Anybody else got a question about compassion or someone else in the video conference? Right, we're going to take a question from Ukraine and then a question from Italy. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Roman, and I would like to ask one question. What charity activities are organized in your school? Thank you.
Can I answer to your question? Excuse me. Okay. In our school, all year for Christmas or for Easter we do a collection of presents or eggs of chocolate to give to some poor boys or boys from an hospital called De Marchi, the Hospital De Marchi, Children's Hospital De Marchi. And at the elementary school, with our class, we did a money collection for a guy in Cambodia called Sinami. And we all month we gave some money to this guy. Okay, now can I ask a question, please?
Yes, please go ahead.
Can I ask my question, please?
Yes.
Allora, in Italian cities there are a lot of poor persons, and I want to ask if in your country's cities there are a lot of poor persons too.
A lot of poor people, are you saying? A lot of poor people in your cities? Yeah, okay. So we're going to go to IEC because I'm sure they want to share as well what they do in school for charity. And could you also touch on whether there are poor people in your cities? We've heard from this Italian student that there are poor people, he thinks, in cities in Italy. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Zina. Well, actually, There are a lot of charity activities that we do here in our school, a lot of charity bazaars, and actually a lot of this money, it goes to the hospital here in Jordan that treats cancer. And we do a lot of charity bazaars and charity events. And one of them is also called Run for Life, where we all ran and we actually paid for the t-shirts we had to wear. And that money went to the hospital that treats cancer. And to answer the second question, yes, we have a lot of poor people in the streets, and most people help them by giving them money or shelter or food. Yeah, thank you. That's it from our side. Thank you.
I would like to answer your question. Not many people in our city. There are some poor people who sit in a chance and ask them to give them money. Other people try to help them. Could I ask a question? Do you help animals? How? Thank you.
We're getting to the stage where you don't really need me. So if you've understood the question, go ahead and answer it. You're doing a great job of being a bit more spontaneous with one another, so that's good.
Hello, my name is Yasmin, and I would like to clarify what my classmate just said about having a lot of poor people in streets. Actually, no, they are beggars, and some of them do have money, but they don't really want to work. We have poor people in camps that they are poor, and government provides shelter and food and what they need to live. Thank you.
I'm glad that you intervened there and that you gave your own opinion. We might see the same things in our lives, but actually think about them in different ways. And that's why it's important to get a variety of perspectives, a variety of opinions on video conferences like this. So thank you for sharing your particular perspective on this issue of the poor in Amman. Thank you for that. Okay, does anybody want to have a go at answering the question from the Ukrainian students about being compassionate towards animals? Thank you.
Yes, I respond from the Ukraine class. I am Christian, and in Italy there are a lot of persons that help and adopt the stray animals, and they feed them or they play, or I don't know. I'd like to ask a question from the Ukraine. Is different life in Poland and the Ukraine, because all my family is there, so I'm from Poland and I would like to know. Thank you.
Can I ask you if you would perhaps connect over the online community to ask that question? to anybody who's lived in Poland, because what it's going to do actually is it's going to take us away from the discussion about compassion, and that is what we are here to discuss. Okay, so if you could possibly find one another after the video conference on the online community, you can ask your question about the difference of life in Poland and Ukraine for those students who lived in both places. So let's make sure our questions and our comments are limited to this topic of compassion. So it looks like we have somebody at IEC with another comment or question. So go ahead. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lena. I would like to answer about animals which we protect in our country. We have reservations which help to provide and secure animals who are about to extinct because of the hunting. They provide them, they give them special spaces for them until they breed and they have and they are in their exact necessary number. And I think this is really compassion that they think about others. Thank you.
I am Emanuele, and I want to ask you a question. Why did you have speak of animal in compassion? Thank you. Hi.
Do you know what? I'm really glad you've asked that question, because I was just thinking, I hope somebody asked a bit of a more challenging question, and I think you've just done it. So, you're sat there wondering, why in a video conference about compassion are we having a discussion about animals? What I'd like you to do, this is all of you, the classroom in Italy, the classroom in Ukraine, the classroom in Jordan. I'm going to give you a minute, and in that minute I want you to discuss this question amongst yourselves and then come back with as many responses as you have. So the question is, why are we discussing animals in a video conference about compassion? Okay, when we think of compassion, is it right to be thinking about animals? Okay, 1 minute thinking time and discussion time in your classes, everybody. Thank you. Ten seconds, and then we'll have your answers. Thank you. Okay, just a reminder, there are no right answers and there are no wrong answers to this question. And if you disagree in your classrooms, that's perfectly fine. Now, it looks like we've got a friend there at Coval School who is ready to respond to this question. Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Anton. I want to answer your question. Why we speak about animals? I think that animals also need our protection. They expect, and in cold seasons they don't have anything to eat, and we should help them and protect them. Thank you.
Yep, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Sarah. I think that we should care about animals because they're living things that they have feelings too. So we should feel compassionate about them. Thank you.
All animals are loving? I can think of a few I might not want to cuddle. Okay, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Bethina. I think that all living things have to live in harmony so that we are important to animals and animals are important to us. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Yasmin again. I would like to say that plants, animals, and human beings, all of us, we just can't live without each other because each one of us produce something in this life, and we all need each other, and we need to be compassionate to animals and maybe even to plants because they are living things. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ruqayya, and I just want to say that compassion has to include every single aspect of our life, and animals are a big and important aspect of our life, so that is why we're talking about animals when our subject is compassion. And also, I really liked what one of the students said, that animals are just like us, they have feelings, but they cannot express it by talking to us. So we have to feel with them, and they need our compassion. Thank you.
And thank you for doing that, because you make me, the facilitator, very happy indeed when I hear comments like, I want to respond to what I've already heard and I agree with this statement, or you were going to say I disagree with this statement. That's a good demonstration of a listening skill. Thank you. Now, where are our friends in Italy? Because I'd love to hear from them now also. Are you still there? I see Basilio. Are you there? Okay, they're not with us right now. They're going to dial back in a moment. I think now is a good time to move the discussion on, actually. We're going to have a look at your inspirations for compassionate action, whether that be towards other human beings, whether that be to the planet, whether that be to animals, as discussed. So we have, oh, I see Basilio back. Okay, do you want to answer the question before we move on?
I am Emanuele, and I think yeah, in Italy the person have much compassion for people than animal, because there is a lot of immigrants and poor people that they live on the street, and we think that's a good thing to have him the compassion. And in Italy arrive a lot of people from other countries with higher poverty. No. Thank you and hi. And bye.
Can I just clarify with you, because again, your audio is a bit muffled. Were you saying that because of issues like immigration, because of poverty, we should be thinking more about humans first before we think about animals? Is that your point?
In Italy, yes. Yes, it's okay.
All right, great. We're going to move on now in the last 25 minutes of the discussion. We're going to move on to look at inspirations for compassionate action. We have a film that we're going to see that's been produced by the students of IEC and a PowerPoint as well produced by the students at Coval City Gymnasium. Again, please be ready with comments and with questions once we have watched these films and these presentations. Okay, so we're going to watch the film first, Sanjay, from the IEC students. And I think there's some narration over the top. Wonderful, thank you.
Hello, we help the less fortunate. We are modest. We do not lie. We do not cheat. We do not steal. We do not kill. We do not drink alcohol or hurt ourselves in any other way. We fast to feel with the people who cannot afford eating. We seek justice by the rules of our holy books, the Bible and the Quran. We forgive each other. We show mercy to our young and respect our elderly. We do not differentiate between black and white, Eastern or Western, ruler or civil. We thank God for everything. We believe in heaven and hell and that God is the merciful, the powerful, and the loving. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay. So I've got a question for the students at IEC there. There was a lot of discussion in that film about we believe this and we believe that. Who do you mean when you say we in that film? Thank you.
Hello. Hello, my name is Ruqayya. What I meant when I said we believe is the people of the two religions, Christianity and Islam, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, because we were talking in our class about the King Abdullah's motive, a common word, initiative, a common word, which was signed by Christians and Muslims all over the world. So that video is talking about the common grounds of the Islamic religion and the Christian religion. Thank you.
That is much clearer. Thank you for clarifying that. That's wonderful. Okay, can we go over to Ukraine now, and can we have you talk through your PowerPoint that we're now going to share with everybody? And again, have your eyes open and your ears open, because I'm coming back to you for your responses after we've seen this presentation. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Oleg, and I want to tell you that our religion, Christianity, teaches us to be compassionate and sympathetic. I found many examples of compassion in the main Christian book called Bible. For example, Jesus Christ, the God's Son, heal poor and sick people, and he also tells them the right way to live. People thought that he was God because he performed miracles. What else? Thank you for attention.
Hello, my name is Sergey, and I want to tell you about charity in the Ukraine. There are some people, organization and funds who in Ukraine who do charity job. For example, the fund Ukrainian I'm for You regularly raises money for sick people. It finances new equipment for health services or building of new schools or orphan houses. This fund organizes celebrations of such holidays for children as St. Nicholas Day and Christmas. The Ukrainian fashion model Vlada Litovchenko spends a lot of money on talented children who are from poor families or don't have families. Also, the famous Ukrainian boxer Volodymyr Klitschko and singer Ruslana Lyzhitsko also help for people in need. And thank you.
Hello, my name is Ira and I'd like to tell you about Mother Teresa. There are a lot of people in the world who do not only care about themselves but feel a strong responsibility to help others. One of them was Mother Teresa. She devoted her life to poor, sick and homeless people. I think that every person who wants to search his sense of life should help other people in the world. When I earn my own money, I plan to spend it on charity. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nastya and I would like to tell you about a rehabilitation center in Kovar. I am volunteers in school and we often visit the center and spend a lot of time for disabled people. I like the way we interact with each other. I do not see any difference between us. They are the same as we are. But they are not protected and cannot stand for themselves. They are cruel people who can hurt them. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Dima and I want to tell you about compassion. I think that compassion is a feeling of empathy to others. I always feel compassion to sick and poor people whom I sometimes see on the streets of my town or on TV. However, I think that compassion is an action. I have worked out and the code of compassion. I wrote things which should be important for me. First, I must be kind to others. Second, I must speak of love with others. Third, I must never give up hope. Fourth, I must know that I am loved. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that with us. That's quite impressive. You come up with your own compassionate rules for life there. Okay, any of you got a comment or a question that you'd like to make about the film or about the PowerPoint that you have seen? I do hope so. If you do have a comment or a question, please just raise your hand. Move towards the camera.
Hi, I'm
hello, my name.
Greta. And so
let's hear from
we talked about Mother Teresa of Calcutta too. So we would like to know what do you think? I would like to know what do you think about Mother Teresa? Thanks.
Hello, my name is Anton. I want to...
Sorry, first of all, can you tell us what you think about Mother Teresa? And then we'll hear from the others about what they think about Mother Teresa. Thank you.
So I think that Maria Teresa was certainly one of the most compassionate women of the story. So she received the Nobel Prize for Peace, and she wanted to remove the leper from the zoo. I think that she was a very compassionate woman, and she was. I learned that she was a perfect example of compassion.
Okay, great. Let's hear from some others. Italy, Jordan and Ukraine. Let's hear from a number of you. What do you think about Mother Teresa as a compassionate hero or heroine, you might say? Thank you.
Hello, my name is Anton. Hello, my name is Anton. I think that Mother Teresa is a very compassionate person because she forgets about her problems when she is helping others. She helped everyone who need it. She always give a helping hand to everyone who need it. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Marah. Actually, I think that Mother Teresa is a very compassionate woman. She spent all her life helping others, and I guess she was a happy woman because when you help others, you get that inner satisfaction. Yeah, thank you.
What do you imagine that inner satisfaction feels like? You know, that last statement there was really strong. She must have had a good life. She must have felt good in her life and had this inner satisfaction. What do you imagine that feels like? I wonder whether you've ever felt a sense of that in your own life when you've been compassionate as well. Would anybody like to respond to that? Thank you.
Hi, it's Zena. Actually, in my opinion, I think that yes, you gain that inner satisfaction when you help others, because when you see other people happy because of like something simple you've done to them, then that makes you happy, and that's one of the greatest feelings of the world. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. I agree.
What did you say?
I'm great.
Hello, I'm Nicola, and I want to speak about Pope Francis because in my opinion, it's a symbol of compassion. I like so much Pope Francis, and to enter in contact with him, I've done something like wrote him a letter with the religion prof, and I went to Rome to saw his Angelus, and I very liked it. It isn't a normal Pope Francis, because he's a special one, and he do a lot of compassion things.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
I like where we've moved on to, actually. We're kind of discussing who are your faith heroes and who are your faith heroines when it comes to compassionate action. So who might we add to this list of faith heroes and faith heroines? Who's inspired you from your own religious tradition and perhaps from the religious traditions of others by their compassionate actions? Anybody else got another contender for this list? Thank you.
Margarita, and hi, my name is Margarita, and I talk us about the Good Samaritan. One day, Jesus said, a man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho when he was attacked by robbers. They stripped him of his clothes and leaving him half dead. Christ happened to going down the same road, and then he saw the man. He passed by another side. So too a Levite, when he came to the place and saw him, passed by on the other side. But a Samaritan, as he traveled, came there the man was, and when he saw him, he took pity on him. He went to him and bandaged his wounds, pouring on oil and wine. The next day, he took out 2 denarii and gave them to innkeeper. Look after him, he said, and when I return, I will reimburse you for any extra expense you may have. This teacher says, go and do likewise.
And I think a really important message, could you mute please, Basilio? Thank you. A really important message in that story that I think a lot of people miss quite often is, of course, that it's the Samaritan who helps the Jewish person in the story. You know, it's the people of his own faith passing by and do nothing, but it is the stranger, it is the other, it's a person of a different religion and a different race who helps the young person the old person who's been injured. You know, and I always think that's quite interesting, but often missed. It's not just about helping somebody who needs help. It's actually about helping somebody who's different to yourself. It's about acceptance as much as it's about compassion, if you like. Okay, let's go over to IEC. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Zaina. For me, who inspires me is Prophet Muhammad, because he cried when he knew that Quraysh, before Islam came, used to bury their female children alive, And after Islam came, he freed the rights for all women, and that's very compassionate. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sarah. Prophet Muhammad inspired me too when he said in wars we should not cut any trees or kill any animals. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we go back to Ukraine? Have you got anybody else to add? Oh no, sorry. Go ahead, IEC, and then we'll go over to Ukraine. Thank you.
Hi, how are you? My name is Dania, and in our religion, God's compassionate treat us how to compassionate, and my inspire is God. My inspire is Prophet Muhammad when he said that who give food to a dog or a give him a water for a thirsty dog, he gets into the heaven. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Anton, and for all, and Jesus Christ gives us an example of kindness, and he supports all the people, and he gives a helping hand to everyone who needs it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have someone else at the IEC, and I think somebody at Italy. So let's go to IEC and then Italy. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nadine. Yeah. I want to say that Prophet Muhammad was very compassionate when there was a man who always put his garbage in front of Prophet Muhammad's house, and someday, and the man was not Muslim, and someday the man got sick, but Prophet Muhammad, even though he annoyed him, he got and visited him. Thank you.
Did you hear that? It's a very well-known story about the Prophet Muhammad's compassion, about the man who used to put rubbish in front of his house, and the day it didn't happen, the Prophet got very concerned that the rubbish wasn't in front of his house. Rather than celebrating and going, yay, there's no rubbish in front of my house, he went to check upon his neighbour and found that his neighbour was unwell, and so gave him succour and gave him assistance. I think that's just such a great story of compassionate action. Okay, we're going to wrap up in a moment, actually. We're coming to the end of our video conference. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and like I did earlier, I'd like it if you just discussed in your classes the responses and then shared them with one another. So question number 1 is, has anything surprised you in today's video conference? So have you heard anything which you didn't expect to hear, either from your own classroom or across the video conference? So that's first of all, anything that surprised you. And then, is there anything in today's video conference that's made you think about your own behaviour towards others? Is there anything that you might do differently because of today's VC? Okay, those are your 2 questions. Talk in your classes, and in 1 minute we'll hear your responses. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Oleg, and I want to say that
I really do want to give people thinking time before you respond. So can you just talk in your class for 1 minute and then we'll hear your responses. Thank you. 10 seconds. Thank you. Okay. So your two questions that I want you to limit your responses to are, anything surprised you today? And is there any way in which you think your behaviour might be affected by today's video conference when it comes to compassion? So we're going to hear from Italy first this time, then Ukraine, and then Amman. Thank you.
I'm Federico. I would like to know more things about the story of Muhammad. I'm surprised that the video conference is about animals too, and it was a very good video conference, better than.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Nicola, and I want to say one thing, that not only with this video conference, but with all the participate project that we have done, I improve myself, and I learn a lot of things on compassion that before I didn't know, and I very like this part of project, part of this year about compassion, and in future I will be more compassionate. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Can we go over to Ukraine now? Thanks.
Hello, my name is Oleg, and I want to say that I found many similarities in our cultures. We both have, you have Prophet Muhammad and you have Jesus Christ. They both did compassion deeds, and they both heal deaf, blind, and dumb people. Thank you for attention.
Just to be very clear, be careful about finding too many similarities between Prophet Muhammad and between Jesus Christ. You know, talking about miracles of healing. Do go and check that out before you make assumptions about both of these very important and significant religious leaders. Okay. Ukraine, do carry on, please.
Yes. Hi, my name is Anya, and I'm making a conclusion that this conference teach us to be more compassionate, to be more tolerant, and to be more helpful to each other. Thank you.
Okay, finally, going over to IEC. This is all we've got time for, I'm afraid. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tamara. I will not only be compassion for humans, also for animals. And another example, smiling is also compassion. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Arwa, and after this video conference, I learned that by simple things, we can be compassionate, like by smiling or only helping animals. And thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody. We are out of time. If you do have any more questions, of course, you should go onto the online community and continue your discussions there. That would be absolutely wonderful. We'd also love to hear any examples that you've got after the video conference of any compassionate actions you do individually or you do collectively as a class within your wider community. So if you're inspired to go out there and do something, then please do. Teachers, I will be writing to you within the next week with my feedback. But well done, everybody, and a great job of speaking in English, all of you. Okay, bye. Do you want to say goodbye to one another? Bye.